All right, welcome to episode 49 of Adventures in Inbetweening. I have a bit of a cold, so you'll have to be patient with my voice today. We are looking at the very first episode of Samurai Jack from 2001.
What form you take, Aku, you will never defeat the side of righteousness.
Awesome stuff. This entire series is just a terrific example of show, don't tell. It relies on music and sound cues and timing and pacing and of course the action sequences that are nicely set up by the quieter moments. So here Aku is spinning around, his body's following through, his eyes are closed as his face appears. The body's going to continue up as the clockwise motion finishes up. His body is overlapping up, his arms are overlapping down and out, and even though I've got a very symmetrical pose here, as Aku settles back and is from the extreme pose, the feet and the beard give Aku a nice asymmetry, compared with this intentional symmetry with the rest of the body. You can see the only thing that's moving here is the fire. The pose is so strong, we don't need any more animation than that. Now Aku is going to start down abruptly without any anticipation. We want to keep this strong silhouette. Camera starts to follow, but Aku still gains on the camera faster than we can keep up. And then Aku is going to be gone for 4 frames. And we're going to see that 4 frames is going to shorten to 3 to 2 to 1 as this sequence speeds up. Now here you can see the boards are very strong. The posing is taken directly from that. Jack, even though he starts out in this pose, it's cool, but it's more effective to him to start blinked and then animate into that. We've got more shape change, more contrast, more progression in the motion then. The shadow is slowly growing on Jack's background here as he anticipates down, gets ready to jump off. Again, look at this terrific storyboard pose that we've got here. Jack's going up, up, up. And as soon as he leaves 1 frame, and then Aku comes in, 1 drawing, and then the second drawing, boom. Major shape change, debris everywhere. Jack barely escaped. But he still did escape by a few frames without any overlapping silhouettes or any real danger. Aku's hand settles back from the extreme right away. There's no ease in or softness there. We cut to the next shot. Jack's already landing. Let's cut out any superfluous action there. We've got some nice secondary motion on his robes after he lands. And then Aku's going to come down, and he's taking up all of this empty space that's set up compositionally for Aku's arrival. Now Aku's going to grab on to these spikes here, again, giving us some nice asymmetry with his feet and his beard, because the rest of his body and his arms are relatively symmetrical. Aku's anticipating back now. Goes the body, goes the hand. Cut to Jack. Jack, confident, hook up exactly from the previous. Now this wasn't drawn in the boards that this pose was there, but in this case we want to start Jack calm, cool, collected. He starts moving on the same frame as Aku comes in with his attack. That's close. Aku's silhouette is almost overlapping Jack. Aku swipes. Jack dodges into another cool pose. He's not just going to dodge into some kind of weak pose, he's going to dodge into a strong pose. Now here, we have a very different hookup with Jack. These 2 poses don't match at all. But when we cut to the next pose, everything's already moving so quickly. We don't really feel that it's a hookup issue because the action is already on the second frame moving. So there wasn't any consecutive frames of a bad hookup because things kept moving every frame. So here Aku, bringing back the hand, body starting forward, fist dragging behind, putting all of his weight behind the attack as he jumps forward towards Jack here. Wonderful pose with Jack, leading with his elbows as he gets ready to jump off. Boom! Major shape change. Cameras following Jack, overlap between their silhouettes now because that's how close Aku was. No more keeping the silhouettes clear. Now, Aku is blinking and changing his eye direction before his body moves. We always want to see, generally want to see that. We want to see somebody go, what? And then move their body. We want to see their emotion before we see the body change. And again, only the fire is moving there on Aku. Cut to the next shot. Jack's foot is already on screen, pops into the landed pose. It's set off with a simple entrance. Body continues forward, the sword continues back, gets some really nice overlap and follow through. And then those robes keep moving. Simple, effective. It's just what we need to see. Now Jack is already going into his next move. He's still one step ahead of Aku at this point. But things are getting closer. Look at this overlap now in the silhouettes. Things are pretty close. Boom! Small overlap now in their silhouettes. Major shape change, debris flying. Now the camera is going to react to Jack jumping up. It's literally a 2-frame camera move. 1, 2. And now we have clear silhouettes. Jack has escaped. It's getting closer and closer every time, though. Aku's attacks are getting that much more dangerous. Now we cut to the next shot. Aku's hand is already on the screen. The action's already happening. His hand comes in for 3 frames. Then it's just going to move back and forth on screen. We're tracking with it as the background flies past. Cut to the next shot. We're already here. Jack had no chance to dodge on this one. 2nd frame. Aku is already swiping at Jack. Already so much happening. So Aku is getting faster and faster and faster. And Jack finally gets some damage from one of these attacks. And we don't have the shirt animating the robe. Now his head is going to come counterclockwise as his body goes counterclockwise as well. Going to the left, going to the right. 2-frame dolly in. Almost feels like 3 separate shots. And then we get the nice black box coming in just to get rid of all of the extraneous background so we can focus on Jack. 30-frame hold on his face there. It's wonderful. Now Aku is very pleased with himself. One of his attacks connected. So he's anticipating back. Here comes the fist down. Again, strong board pose to go with. Cut to the next shot. Fist is already mid-screen. That last hand shot coming down, 16 frames. This one's also 16 frames. Coming forward. Now this time Jack's ready. I love how this line on the robe isn't drawn there. It's terrific design. Jack is dodging out of the way already. His sword is up. Here comes Aku's hand. 1 frame in. Swipe. Boom. Jack was ready for him this time. And you can see those shapes on Aku's arm showing the direction of the cut. Now the board panel here worked okay, but this is better. We've got this nice overlap, these nice shapes, the nice silhouette compressing over each other. And now Aku is hurt. Aku's going to fall through the screen. Jack doesn't need to move now. This is all about Aku falling. And this wasn't initially drawn in the boards here. This wasn't planned, but having Aku fall through the screen helps us connect more to this next shot. So sometimes, again, the boards need to be strong, but we always want to try and add to the boards as we can. Now we're panning down here. Aku is oozing. He needs a bit of time to recover. He's going to reform into another shape now, as he was damaged from Jack's attack. So not only story-wise did Aku need a break, but timing-wise, this gives the audience a few seconds, a couple beats to break up the action. Timing contrast is so important with the action. So you want to go fast, 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 fast. Slow, get a breath. Fast, 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 fast. Now we start Jack here less surprised, so we can see his emotional reaction. Oh, oh. Or actually, I should go, oh, oh, and the hands out more. So overshoot and settle, now we see a surprise. It gives the shot a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's the whole point of a lot of these shots. You want to see a beginning, a middle, and an end. You don't want to just cut to a shot and have nothing happen, no progression. Now here again, we don't have the exact hookup, but there's lots going on. Aku's coming up backwards. We have to have him different every time he transforms. Jack had that nice overlap with the sword. Terrific silhouettes. Once again, the silhouettes are staying clear here. No overlap between them. Looks great. Aku settling in. Now this is a quiet few beats now. Now we've had, again, all the craziness, the busyness, Aku reforming, and now they're both on equal footing again. So now Jack can let down his guard for a moment and say a few words to Aku about how he's never going to get away, about how evil can't triumph. And the only motion on the screen here is Jack's mouth and the fire on Aku's eyes. Just so simple, so effective in creating that contrast. Now here again, beginning, middle, end. Jack's got his hand out there. You will never defeat good Aku, whatever the dialogue is. He's only his mouth is moving, and the screen right arm and part of his robe. Now you can see frame by frame, that's literally all that's moving. The rest of the body doesn't move at all. And that's just, you know, it's a 2D trick. You don't have to redraw everything every time. This is done 20 years ago. Most times these days, that's all covered up. That's all smoothed out with digital tools. But, this is a nice artifact of the past. And then, of course, that final pose with the fist. Contrast from there to there. Wonderful stuff, Samurai Jack. I mean, this is just 30 seconds from the first episode. You do 30 seconds from every episode. It's also strong. Thanks so much for checking it out and putting up with my voice. I'll see you next time.